All right. Hello, guys. I would like us to do a top-down analysis on GBP USD and USD CHF using the CLT concept, right? We did this analysis yesterday on TikTok, but I want us to do it on YouTube again. So as a CLT trader, right, whenever you want to do your top-down analysis, you have to always start on the 1 month time frame. It's always advisable to start on the 1 month time frame to see the overall picture of the chart, right? And on that 1 month time frame, you start by marking your key levels. Start by marking your key levels. This is how I prepare for a new trading week or a new trading month as a day trader. I want to see the overall bias, the directional bias of the week or the month, right? So I can identify if I'm in the uptrend or downtrend. So I'll always start by marking my key levels on the higher time frame, which is the monthly time frame. This is how I prepare for a new trading week as a day trader, as a CLT trader. So this is my key level on the 1 month time frame on GBP USD. I start by marking my key levels, right? So this is the last candle of the month of May. This is the month of May, right? The candle have closed. So from the look of things, I can see that the month of June will be bearish, right? The month of June will be bearish from what I'm seeing here. From the way this month close, the month of May, right? It's showing me that the month of June I'll be bearish. I'll be looking for more sell opportunities to the downside for the month of June, right? Okay, so I start by marking my key levels on the higher time frame. These are my key levels on the higher time frame, right? So I'm marking these ones because these ones will give me the directional bias of the market, these ones, right? But my focus is on this one. My main focus is on this one. But this one is also important because it will give me the directional bias of the market, right? That's why I have to plot those key levels as well. Guys, if you have a question, you can just comment, right? If you have a question, you can just keep it there. I'll reply to you. So this is how I plan a new trading week as a day trader, right? So these are my key levels on the 1 month time frame. Now, the next step is to scale down to the weekly time frame. Remember, this is a top-down analysis. It means you are not supposed to skip any time frame, right? You need to analyze all the time frame, all the various time frame from the monthly, the weekly, the daily, right? Sometimes up to the 4 hours, but most of the times I end on the daily. Okay, so now this is what we have on the 1 week time frame, right? This is what we have on the 1 week time frame. On the 1 week time frame now, right? On the 1 week time frame, you also want to see a bearish bias. Since you are seeing a bearish bias on the 1 month time frame, you also want to see a bearish bias on the 1 week time frame. Okay, now on the 1 week time frame, this is what I can identify on the 1 week time frame, right? I want to trade this particular candlestick, this weekly candlestick, right? This long bearish candlestick on the 1 week time frame, right? I want to pay attention to this candlestick on the 1 week time frame, right? So this long bearish candlestick is showing me a high volume or high momentum of sellers in the market. This long bearish candlestick, these are engulfing candlestick. It engulfs like three candlestick at once, right? So this is a high volume of sellers in the market, and this buy to the upside was just a pullback. As you can see, we have a rejection on the 50% of that particular candle. We are having a rejection on the 50%. That 50% is your key level, and also we have a formation of a bearish CRT as well. So this is another sign of more sells to the downside on the weekly time frame. This is another sign of more sells to the downside on the weekly time frame. So here we have a bearish CRT as well, right? We have a bearish CRT as well. We have already the accumulation. This is the manipulation, and next week will be the distribution to the downside. So that's another sign of more sell to the downside on GBP USD on the 1 week time frame. This is how to do a proper top-down analysis. If you are seeing a sell on the 1 week time frame, you also have to see a sell on the if you are seeing a sell on the 1 month time frame, you are expected to see a sell also on the 1 week time frame and on the daily time frame. So everything have to align. Everything have to align. If you are seeing a sell on the 1 month time frame, you are supposed to see a sell also on the 1 week time frame and on the daily time frame, so you can confidently take your trade, right? So now we are also seeing a sell on the 1 week time frame, right? We are seeing a good CLT on the 1 week time frame. We have a formation of a power of 3. It means we'll be trading out this candlestick. We'll be trading this candlestick on the 1 week time frame, right? This is our candlestick. This is our new candlestick that we are going to be trading, right? This accumulation, manipulation, and next week will be the distribution to the downside. So that's our new range. That's our range on the 1 week time frame. We have a bearish bias as well on the 1 week time frame. Now we'll be scaling down on the daily time frame to see what we have on the 1 day time frame as well. We cannot just end on the weekly time frame, right? So on the weekly time frame, we are also seeing a bearish order flow. Yeah. So now on the daily time frame, what do we have on the daily time frame? On the daily time frame, you are also expected to see a sell on the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame, you have this. This is what we have on the daily time frame. We have a break of structure to the upside, and this is the origin responsible for that break, right? The origin was violated. It means that this particular zone will be acting as a breaker. This is our breaker block. This particular zone will be acting like a breaker block. So now this is a sign of bearish order flow, right? This is a sign of bearish order flow on the daily time frame. This is an example of a bearish order flow. We have something like this, a liquidity sweep, either a TBS or a TWS, total body sweep or a total week sweep, right? But in this case, this was a total body sweep. You can call it a false breakout because it closes with a body, but later on it changed character to the downside, right? Okay, so this is an example of a market structure shift, right? A bearish order flow. So now price is currently reacting on the breaker block before the continuation to the downside. So price is currently reacting on this breaker block. Price is currently reacting on that breaker block, right? So we are expecting to see this sell to the downside next week. It means that on the daily time frame, we are also having a bearish order flow, right? Everything is aligned, everything being equal, right? We also have a bearish order flow on the daily time frame. So we are expected to take a sell to the downside. We are expecting to take a sell to the downside on GBP USD. So that's how I do my top-down analysis as a day trader, as a CRT trader. This is a proper top-down analysis using the CRT concept. This is the best way to do your top-down analysis if you are a CRT trader, right? And you have to do this weekly. You have to do this weekly to prepare for a new week, right? For a new trading week. You have to do this weekly. So that's how I approach the market every weekend, right? That's how I prepare for a new trading week. Okay. So that's what we have on the daily time frame. This is my view on GBP USD. I'm expecting a sell to the downside on GBP USD. Okay, now let's move to USD CHF. Let's see what we have on USD CHF. Remember, USD CHF is negatively correlated to GBP USD. It means that if you are seeing a sell on GBP USD, we'll be seeing a buy on USD CHF, right? So I just want to show you guys the best way to do top-down analysis using the CRT concept if you are a CRT trader. All right, so let's analyze USD CHF as well. Let's see what we have on USD CHF. So we'll also be starting on the 1 month time frame. We'll also be starting on the 1 month time frame. Guys, let's be active. Share the live, and if you have a question, you can ask so I can reply you. Okay, so this is what we have on the 1 month time frame on USD CHF, right? Okay, so I'll also start by marking my key levels, right? But in this case, I just want to focus on this price action, these few candlesticks. Yeah, since I'm a day trader, I can just focus on this candlestick, right? But if you want to mark the overall picture of the market, the overall trend, right, you can start from here. You can start by marking these key levels, right? You can start by marking these key levels on the 1 month time frame. So these are my key levels that I'm marking, right? We have this sweep of liquidity on this high, right? We have a sweep of liquidity on that high, giving us a bearish order flow. We also have a sweep of liquidity on this high, giving us another bearish order flow. But this high is still pending. This high is still pending. So we are also expecting to see a sweep of liquidity on this high, right? On USD CHF. We're also expecting to see a sweep of liquidity on that high as well. So I'm waiting for price at this point. I want to see price action on this key level. Okay, so now those are my key levels on the higher time frame. I'm seeing a bearish order flow, but at this point, I'm seeing a reversal, right? I'm seeing a reversal. So I believe there will be something like a buy to sell model, right? I believe there will be something like a buy to sell model. We'll be buying in order to sell to grab this liquidity on this high. So we can use this guy now as our new CRT candle to trade it to the downside and target the low. Because the low of this previous month candlestick, this is the May candlestick. Sorry, this is the April candlestick and this is the May candlestick. The low of the April candlestick was collected. This is the sweep of liquidity on the low of the April candlestick, right? So now this is the month of May. For Monday, we'll be having the formation of the month of June. So I believe the month of June will be buying. It will give us the buy to sell model. We'll be buying to collect liquidity on this high because this high is still pending. This is our inducement. This is like liquidity in the market, right? Guys, don't worry. This class is recorded. So after that, I'll share it in the YouTube channel so you can watch it and understand better. I'm recording the class. Okay, so now this is our inducement, right? This is a weak high, but this one is a protected high. This is our protected high here, right? We have a sweep of liquidity and a break to the downside, but this is still our weak high. So we are still expecting price to come back and collect liquidity on this high before continue to push to the downside. So I'm seeing something like a buy to sell model at this point, right? Okay. So now I've marked my key level. This is my key level, right? And this another key level, the high of this range. The high of this range is also my key level. The high of this range is also my key level, right? The high of that range is also my key level. So now I'll scale down on the weekly time frame to see price action on the 1 week time frame. But first, on the 1 month time frame, we are already seeing a sign of reversal. This indecision candlestick is already a sign of reversal, right? This indecision candlestick is already a sign of reversal. We have a sweep of liquidity on the low and a close within the range, a closure within the range. So that's already a sign of reversal. So now, if you scale down on the 1 week time frame, right? If you scale down now on the 1 week time frame, this is what we have on the 1 week time frame. This is what we have on the 1 week time frame. This is the price action we have on the 1 week time frame. So on the 1 week time frame, we are still respecting this bullish candlestick. We are still respecting this bullish candlestick, this push to the upside, right? This bullish candlestick, and price is already in the discount on the weekly time frame. Price is already in the discount, right? Okay, so now we'll be scaling down on the daily time frame. We'll be scaling down on the daily time frame, and at the same time, price is also respecting this high. So this zone now is acting like a breaker block. This particular zone is acting like a breaker block because we have a break of structure, right? We have a failure swing at this point. There was a failure swing here. This was our failure swing, right? This was our failure swing, leaving behind what? This zone. This zone now will be acting like a demand zone in order to buy to the upside. Okay. So now let's scale down on the daily time frame to see price action on the 1 day time frame, right? Let's scale down on the daily time frame. This is what we have on the daily time frame. You can clearly see the demand zone that I was talking about. This zone is acting like a demand zone, right? It was supposed to be a supply zone, but the zone was violated. So we are using it now as a demand zone instead to buy to the upside. Okay. So now this is what we have on the daily time frame, right? This is what we have on the daily time frame. And I want to focus on this price action. I want to focus on this price action at this point. Let me delete this. I want to focus on this particular price action at this point. We have this sweep of liquidity, a total body sweep or a false breakout, right? We have this sweep of liquidity on this low. And where is the next high? We have this high that was taken. We have this high that was taken. It means that this is the formation of a bullish order flow, right? We have something like this. Something like this, a sweep of liquidity and a market structure shift. So a price is now here in the discount. So we are expecting to see a buy to the upside, a push to the upside, right? This is what we are expecting to see. Okay, now price is already in the discount. Price is already in the discount. We want to see a bullish order flow also in USD CHF. Price is in the discount. What do we have in the discount? We have this candlestick that will be acting like an order block, this particular candlestick, and price have already tapped into that candlestick, right? So I'm expecting to see a buy to the upside from this zone. So this is our CLT high. This is our CLT high here. And above it, we also have this key level that price will likely reach there to collect liquidity because that is an O high, which is a weak high. So this is my expectation on USD CHF, right? This zone is a mitigation block. We have a failure swing, right? Leaving behind what a smart money technique, SMT. We have an SMT here. So this zone now is our mitigation block. So we'll be acting like a demand zone to buy to the upside. And on that particular demand zone, we have a bullish order flow. We have this sweep of liquidity and break of structure to the upside. So I'm seeing a major reversal at this point. At this point, I'm seeing a major reversal to the upside. So that's my view on USD CHF, right? That's my view on USD CHF. That's how I prepare for a new trading week as a day trader. That's my view on USD CHF. So that's how to do a proper top-down analysis using a CLT concept. That's how to approach the chart, right? Whenever you want to do your top-down analysis using the CLT concept, you have to approach it like this, starting from the higher time frame to the lower time frame, right? From the higher time frame to the lower time frame, because there is noise in the lower time frame and a lot of fake out and manipulation. So it's always advisable to stick on the higher time frame. So guys, that's my view on USD CHF and GBP USD. I'll be looking for a buy on USD CHF and a sell on GBP USD. So I believe this will be the end of this live stream for today. So I'll prepare the next video for you guys in the next session. See you guys. Peace out.